Hey guys, Dawson Widrick here from Nerdy in Many Ways. Welcome to today's movie review of Disney's Frozen 2, which has been in theaters for the past couple weeks. Actually, the chance to see it over Thanksgiving break. But before I get into that, if you're looking for an authentic and in-depth sports and life discussions, be sure to check out the Sorry to Bother You podcast on Spotify, hosted by my good friend Keshawn Cottle. Guys, these guys do a fantastic job of analyzing things happening in today's sports world, as well as just handling certain life situations in general and how to get through those hard times. Definitely check them out. Again, it's the Sorry to Bother You podcast on Spotify, hosted by Keshawn Cottle. Alright, so like I said, today's subject of this video is Frozen 2. And now, before I get into this, I want to say there are some spoilers ahead for this movie. I'm not going to go through the entire plot of it. I'm not going to list it out step by step of what happens. But there will be some things that will kind of spoil some plot points of the movie. So if you have not seen it and you don't want anything spoiled for you, click out and make sure to like and subscribe before you leave, and come back and check out this video once you're done to see if you agree with some of the things that I discuss in this video. But with that, let's get to the review. So again, this is a kids movie. It's from Disney, and so I'm going to be a little light on it today. But there are some things that did kind of bother me about it. Overall, I love the movie. I felt like it was very well done. I feel like it was a very fun ride, especially for young kids. But there are some things that do bother me about it, so I'll split it up into two parts. I'm going to talk about first what I liked about it, and then afterwards I'm going to talk about some things that maybe bugged me just a little bit. So things that I liked. First off, this movie is very funny. The characters do a really great job of have a light atmosphere, despite sometimes being kind of a darker storyline for Disney. That's not really saying much. But again, they do a really great job of really lightening the mood. I mean, specifically Olaf. I feel like Olaf is so much more funny in this movie than he was in the previous one, because in this one he kind of has more of like a sense of knowledge, and he understands a little bit more things in the world, so he feels like that he's matured a little bit. He feels like he understands a lot of things now, and he's just spouting off all this random knowledge all the time, which really adds a little flavor to it. But my favorite scene with Olaf was when he's recounting the events of the first movie to a bunch of people who don't really know the backstory of Anna and Elsa. And basically the people that are being told the story are reacting the same way that a lot of audiences first reacted to the first movie in theaters, reacting like, oh my goodness, this is terrible, this is scary, or this is hilarious, or, reacting in the way that we would. And so again, I feel like Olaf was just that much more funny in this movie. I feel like they did a really great job of doing that. And also the songs. The songs in this movie, I mean, Let It Go is iconic from Frozen 1. I mean, nothing's ever really going to replace that, because that was such a new and powerful piece. But the songs in this one really do a good job of describing the mood of the movie, delivering some powerful songs. I mean, Elsa does another great song as well. But you also have some really hilarious songs. Like, again, Olaf has a song talking about when you're older, everything makes sense. And it's a complete parody of adulthood and how everything makes sense when you get older. And it's absolutely hilarious. And you also have Kristoff's song, which is an absolute throwback to 80s music videos. I mean, they even rip off the same concepts from Bohemian Rhapsody's music video from Queen. It is absolutely hilarious, and it had me laughing the majority of the time these songs are taking place. I also really liked the callbacks that this movie had to the previous film, especially Elsa when she's off to find what's called the fifth spirit. I won't get too far into that, but she sees a flashback of all things that happened in the previous movie, different scenes and interaction between different characters. And one part that I actually thoroughly enjoyed was when Elsa sees herself singing Let It Go, and she has the whole strut out to the balcony in the castle, right? And she cringes at it like, ugh, why did I do that? And it's so similar to how we would look back at a yearbook of ourselves and say, holy crap, why did I do that with my hair? So overall, the good was really good in this movie. They did a really good job of making it funny, and songs really well done. And now for the things that I didn't quite like. Now again, this is a kids movie, so take some of these things that I say with a little bit of salt, because it's a little bit nitpicky. But there are some things that still kind of I don't agree with. So first off, there's one phrase that is said multiple times in this movie. And again, this is a very small detail that's not really important, but it kind of bugs me. But they constantly say that they have to find the secrets of the past. And I don't know about you, but that makes me think of just some random line you would spout out as a kid when you're playing pretend in some fantasy adventure, right? We have to find the secrets of the past. And they say it multiple times, and each time they said it, I kind of cringed a little bit, because it's very much not specific, and it's very much just very vague. And I mean, I guess it's supposed to be like that for kids, but to me it was just very cringeworthy. I think also in this movie, some of the writing was a little bit lazy. I mean, it was a really original idea for this film, but I feel like some of the interactions and dialogue of the film were definitely a little bit lazy. Like some interactions between Anna and Elsa, and then, Elsa or Anna and Kristoff, and some of those different things. I mean, Olaf was probably the best written character in this film. Everything else is just kind of like, meh. I mean, they try to go into this enchanted forest, and they try to find what's called this fifth spirit and follow this voice that Elsa's hearing, and it turns out that Elsa's the spirit, but if she's the spirit, what was calling to her? And you can answer that with, I guess, the idea that water has memory, which is a huge theme in this movie, that water remembers everything that happens around it. And this is actually really obvious when you actually see the sunken ship of Anna and Elsa's parents, and the water and ice make an image of what Anna and Elsa's parents looked like in their last moments together, of course hugging each other before they die. And so again, water having memory is a huge thing in this film. And so I guess you can make it say that the water is what was calling to Elsa, but at the same time it just seemed kind of odd to me. But overall, I think this movie was a great success. I feel like they did a good job of following up the first one. I mean, the story is not as good as the first one was, but I mean, that's kind of the same thing with every single sequel out there. You're going to have a story that's a little bit lesser than the first because it's not as unexpected as the first one was. But again, it did a great job of delivering funny laughs, great songs, great music, great animation overall. I just think it was a well done movie. And so that's my review of Frozen 2 from Disney. If you guys had different opinions from what I had, definitely leave them down in the comment section down below. Also, make sure again to check out the Sorry to Bother You podcast on Spotify. I will have a link to that in the description down below as well. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, trying to make our way to 500 subscribers on this channel, with which I will make an exciting announcement for my subscribers. And so with that, I will see you guys next time.